Welcome to the OhioRAAM Show.
Welcome, everybody. It's OhioRAAM Show, a show about ultracycling. And as you can see, it's just me here today, Lee Kreider. Jim and I both have the Metronet fiber optic service, which is mostly buried underground, except at his house and my house, which is hanging in the air. Well, we had a windstorm last night, and apparently it took Jim offline, and he's not with us here. I hope maybe he's watching and can give us a comment. But, well, you know, that's life in the big city. This kind of thing happens, but once again, it's all down to little old me pushing the right button at the right time. And let's do this first of all, talk about our time stations here in Ohio, the Race Across America time stations. Time station 41 in Oxford, Ohio, 42 in Blanchester, Ohio, and 43 in Chillicothe. These are great places. And I got a little announcement. I guess Jim was going to make this announcement, but he's not here. There's going to be a new location for Time Station 43 in Chillicothe. And all of you who are vegans and vegetarians will love it, because it's going to be right at the site of a farm market where they grow fresh fruits and vegetables right on site. And the middle of June should be some interesting things there to purchase. And I know you'll be looking forward to that. I know Jim is as well. And we got somebody in here from Denmark. Matthias is with us. Thank you for being here, Matthias. And thank all of the rest of you for being here. We want to make sure that you get a chance to comment and ask a question on Facebook or YouTube. And those of you who do will be entitled to a gift. I think I'm going to make the gift. Let's do a mouse pad today, and give that away. The way you do it is just make a comment of some kind. Just tell us where you're from, please. And that'll work. Last time we had one person just typed in an emoji, and that got him in the hopper. Or if you don't want to appear on here, just type in a period and send it. That puts you in the hopper for a mouse pad. Let's go through some people that's already here. Joe from Portugal's here. We're glad to have you with us. He was on the show, was it last week? Mrs. Skydog is here. Greg Zuber, the voice of the OhioRAAM Show, is here with us. Oh, yeah, Joe pointed out he's from sunny Lisbon. Well, it's sort of sunny here today, but it's also kind of cold. Let's go down through, see what we got. We talked about comments and questions. Let's get back to our supporters here. Oh, I didn't mention the signs. Mike Gominium, the sign man, who puts all these signs up, thanking him again from middle of Indiana to the middle of Ohio. It's quite a job. And if you go to our website, OhioRAAMShow.com, there's a place you could drop some coins to help him finance that. We want to thank our people who support us, Race Across America, Spiegel Bikes, Infinity Seats. Well, there's no money involved. They just are good supporters of the show, and we appreciate that. Also, the villages or cities, I should say, of Oxford, Blanchester, and Chillicothe that host our time stations here. And of course, the $10 Bicycles Club. And we want you to be sure and support us by becoming a follower on Facebook, and also subscribe on YouTube. If you're over there on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and there, while you're there, ring that bell. That helps a lot. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Oh, I need to make an explanation here of, let me get this back here. Somebody raised the question why we keep switching times for the show. Well, partly because I'm psychotic, and this drives Jim crazy, I know. But we kind of decided, or I did, and it's never final, that the smart thing to do was to have the show at a time that was convenient to or would generate audiences in the part of the world where our guest was from. Like today, we're on at 3 p.m. here in Ohio, which is 10 p.m. in Kenya, where our guest is located. And that's the way we kind of do it. Now, if you have an idea about whether we should just fix the time, but it just seems to me like it's smart to do the show live at a time that's convenient to our guests. So that's what we're thinking about. If you've got any different thoughts about that, I would mind hearing from you. Either comment here and now, or you can just send me something at OhioRAAM at gmail.com. Texas Hell Week's going on, the Stampede 200 and the Long Hard 500. I don't have any news from there. It didn't seem like there's a lot of news available, but then, there's one other thing I need to get to here, and that is next week, our guest.
My name is Maria Vasquez, and I will be flying the Puerto Rican flag when I finish Race Across the West 2022. You can learn all about me and my race on the OhioRAAM show this coming Sunday. Live viewers on Facebook and YouTube can make comments and ask questions. And those who do have the opportunity to win a wee gift. On Thursday, the show will publish the time in your part of the world, and that way you can follow. I look forward to seeing you. Adios.
I didn't talk about Maria to go away. The video. We'll be talking about Major Taylor this show, and I thought I'd just take a moment to explain. Major Taylor was an American cyclist of African background, a great athlete. When the 19th century turned into the 20th, he was world champion sprinter in 1899. He was United States champion in 1890. He kind of disappeared from sight. He was a big money winner, much more than, for example, professional ball players at the time were earning about $2,000. He was earning about 30. Quite a remarkable person. He kind of faded from view, and then his name was resurrected to a lot of us through the Major Taylor cycling clubs, who, I won't try to tell them what their agenda is, but they started in Columbus. I rode with them the first year. They were a part of the cycling world. It was a very pleasure to ride with them there. I hardly keep up with them. And Philip Alloy up there in Toledo, you're part of the Columbus Club, are you not?
Yes, sir, I am. Actually, I am in Columbus.
And now they're all over the United States and probably other places in the world.
Yes, they are. As a matter of fact, your guest today is a member of the First International and First Overseas Major Taylor Cycling Club.
Okay, very good. Well, Philip, we're going to bring in Sally Kanini from Kenya. She's having a little trouble. She's been on and off here and off at the moment. But tell us a little bit about how you happen to get in contact with Sally and how this all came about.
Sure. I run a company called Major Taylor Cycling, where we are licensed to do branded images and the name of Major Taylor as cycling kits. Obviously, we have social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram. And through one of the social media, I believe it was Facebook, Sally contacted me about 6 months ago looking for sponsorship for her club. And in talking to her, I said, would you like to be involved in the Major Taylor cycling clubs here in the United States? And she was really interested in that. And we got her involved in that. And as I said, she became the first, or Major Taylor Cycling Club in Nairobi became the first international cycling club to join about 50 Major Taylor cycling clubs that are throughout the United States. She told me one day about some of her training regimes. They're talking about doing 120, 150, 160 miles as training rides. We try and do centuries as goals, and they're out there training well past that. And I brought up about the race across America, and she definitely piqued her interest. She said she wanted to find out more about that. So I put her in touch with Yuli, and that's how we got to this point. She's very interested in doing, RAAM or ultracycling.
Yeah, and she right away when we talked, she was interested. She'd been following RAAM apparently, and when I began talking, we talked about the World Ultracycling Association might be a place for her to begin. So we're going to bring Sally on. Sally, how are you? Can you hear us? Oh, we lost her.
I see her teammate is watching. Nasleen is watching from Nairobi.
Hi, Nasleen. Glad to have you here. Got the Francois from France here. Sally apparently has got just a little bit iffy connection.
Yeah.
Here she comes back again. Okay, Sally, are you with us now?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, it sounds like your connection's just a little bit iffy, so we'll just work with it as best we can, okay?
Okay.
Okay, a little bit of delay too, perhaps. So we'll get on with that. Well, first of all, you just finished a gravel race today. Tell us about that. Well, how long was it and how'd you do?
It was 64 kilometers, and it is not what I expected.
Okay, you're breaking up quite a bit. I didn't catch how long it was.
I heard her say 64 kilometers, 40 miles.
Yeah, okay. So how did you do?
I was number 10. It's not what I expected.
Number 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, very well, very well. How long have you been into cycling seriously?
The last 3 years.
3 years, I understand. That
Yes.
okay, very well. And what races have you done?
Back here, I've done several races. Let's say all the local races I try to participate. And when it comes to UCI races, I've done African Games and African Championships.
Okay. So you got to tell me about how you got interested in ultracycling.
Ultracycling, I got interested because I used to see people online doing long distance, like 24 hours. So I was like, maybe I can start with 12 hours and see how it comes out. So I said, let me just try training long distances. So I think I'm ready and I want to try and do a challenge, yes.
Well, I have a little video here of you with your team riding along. I just want to show this. Thank you, Phil, for getting it to me. I wanted you to show that these women are serious with what they do. They look like they mean it. And we learned that pretty quick, didn't we, Phil?
Yeah, yes. They were involved with a national Major Taylor cycling competition that was done virtually online. There were probably 700 participants. They were different categories, but they won the per capita longest rides and the most elevation gain. The team of 3 from Nairobi bested all the American teams, regardless of the size. So they made a big splash coming into this situation.
Made a name for themselves right off the bat.
Yes.
Now, when you first contacted me, or I contacted you, or however it came about as sort of a mutual round robin thing, you right away knew about RAM, you knew about some ultracycling events in India, and you showed an interest in that. What is one of the longest rides you've done so far, Sally?
The longest ride that I did was back in 2019, and that was 287 kilometers. So, and it took me almost 13 hours.
Okay. So I think I understood you said around 280 kilometers. Is that what you understood, Fred?
Yeah.
Phil?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, in 13 hours.
Yeah. You're breaking up just a little bit, so we kind of have to interpret a little bit as we go along. So I'll fill in a little bit here. When we first talked, I said, I think you ought to get in touch with the World Ultracycling Association and see what kind of events, what kind of records exist in Africa. I come to find out, I said, Kenya, come to find out, there are no World Ultracycling Association records at all in Africa. And you took the bull by the horns, and you are planning an event coming up this summer. Tell us about what you plan to do.
Yeah, I did reach out to Ultracycling, and I tried to do an inquiry. So I'm due to submit the survey and do a registration for the race. I intend to do 400 kilometers under 12 hours.
Okay, you broke up a little bit there. What was the distance?
400 kilometers within 12 hours. It will be laps on a same place, so it's not a point to point.
So you're doing an out and back course, as I understand it, 26 kilometers long.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but I'm due to submit the survey for the route and pay for the registration here.
And you're working with the WUCA to get that properly set up and properly certified, correct?
Yeah, that's true.
Sally, tell me about some of your long-term goals. What's your dream?
Okay. My long-term goal is at least to participate in 2 Commonwealth Games, and as well to focus on Ultracycling most. That is 2 years from now, and I want to be the most influencing women cycling in Africa. That is my long-term goal.
Well, I don't see any reason why you can't. You know, Kenya has produced some of the greatest runners in the world. Well, the greatest runner in the world. Kenya now holds the world record for marathon, I believe. Phil, if we put some wheels underneath these Kenyans, they should go places, shouldn't they?
It would seem, they're, as they're, the marathons, Sally's talking about doing, ultra cycling, long distance. So it certainly fits in there. One thing she had mentioned that really impressed me when I first talked to her was, her dedication and her passion for cycling, and for particularly to bring cycling to women in Kenya and educational experiences and kind of improve that. So that's something that really, attracted me to what she was doing in the program that she was involved in. And it's very grassroots is what she's working on there. She has very little sponsorship. So we're trying to work some things from this end with the major tailor clubs to try and get some support going and help them with equipment and things like that.
And without saying too much, you hope to bring her to the United States next year, don't you?
We are, as the Major Taylor different clubs, we're trying to bring her here. Obviously for a visit, but also potentially to do some ultracycling here. We had talked potentially maybe doing capital to capital, Indiana to Ohio, Indianapolis to Columbus, something like that. Just to try and get some ideas. When I first talked to her, she was interested in cycling across the United States, and then I told her how far it was. It's a lot bigger than Kenya. Let me. So we're going to start a little smaller on that, but she definitely is up for the challenge.
Well, that was a part of our discussion. We've been chatting back and forth ever since we first met about these kind of things. And I think it would be good to get yourself established with the World Ultracycling Association. And hey, we would love to have you here in Ohio, wouldn't we, Phil?
Yes, indeed. I mean, it's definitely a goal.
I think it would be wonderful if you brought her here to Ohio, Phil, and she knocked off one of these records that already exist here in this part of the globe. But maybe we're pushing the envelope a little too far, and we hope that can all come about. There's many a slip between the cup and the lip there. Well, you're going to do this. You don't have a date set yet. You've got some certifications. You got some people to train and so forth. But what time frame are you talking about doing this event, Sally?
I intend to do it either on June, latest July.
June or July. Well, and the OhioRAAM show will be covering you as live as we can. We're talked about that, and we will get you on the air. That's for sure.
Okay.
Look at my notes here to make sure. Yeah, I kind of covered it. Phil. Now, Phil, you fund her through your clothing operation, and we want to talk a little bit about that. Say a little about that and how that works, Phil.
Well, again, through Major Taylor, through the cycling wear company I have, we've provided them with their cycling kits, and we also sell the replica kits here. You can see she's wearing one of the kits there that we provided for her. But at our online store, majortaylor.us, we offer the replica Nairobi kits, and for everyone sold, the club we donate a portion of that sale to the club as a fundraiser. So we're trying to work some different angles to try and help support them, to get them better equipment, primarily get them upgraded. Some equipment is available, but obviously they have to import everything, and it tends to be a lot more expensive than it is here in the United States. So we're trying to work with her. I mean, they're still at a very high level. I think she mentioned momentarily that her team, or she is qualified for the British Commonwealth Games, which is kind of like the Olympics for Great Britain and the former colonies, and that's coming up pretty soon. That's a very high level of competition. So, Sally and the women she rides with in that club are very accomplished cyclists, and we're just trying to work with them to give them more opportunities and help fund them a little bit. So through the sales of the jerseys and the kits, that's one way we can raise some funding for them.
Well, Sally, you look mighty sharp in that jersey there.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great way of handling that, and put some style to it as well as some real cycling proficiency. Sally,
Yeah.
we want to see you do great things.
Okay.
And we want to help you put that together, put that on the map. Now we'll say anybody out there that hasn't made a comment yet, please do so. We would like to get your name in the hopper here. Mrs. Skydog, Jeanette Rosenkilde, You may wonder why we call her Mrs. Skydog. There's a whole story behind that. That's their team name. And we have Glenn Seals here, Miami to Virginia. I guess is that a suggestion for her? Might be. They get the suggestions are getting longer and longer, Phil.
We'll get her to ride across the United States yet.
Let's hope that's the case. And as we pointed out, not only it's a long distance, but unfortunately, and this is unfortunate, the race across America is an enormously expensive proposition. The Trans-American, which is self-supported, is not nearly so expensive, but requires some other aspects that I don't know if she's wants to get into or not with self-supported racing. But I think you're going to make it here. Well, Portugal's behind you, Sally. Go Pompeo. The iron, known as the Iron Pigeon, is saying, "Go, Sally, go." What more can we say? Hey, is there anybody else wants in this contest? Get your name in here fast. Make a comment. Like I say, just put a period in, if nothing else, because I'm going to spin this thing here if I can find it. Yeah, I found it. And there's a little delay between the time you make a comment and the time we spin it. What would you like to tell us, Sally, we haven't talked about yet?
I think we have talked about everything. So yeah, I think we're good. And I appreciate Mr. Philip from Major Taylor Cycling for supporting us in the best way they could. And we look forward to training more. And we want to do our best, me and my teammates, and mostly my teammate Alice, who has been working very hard. We look to really work hard together.
Well, it's quite exciting for us to be at the beginning of something like this and to help promote it, what little we can do. We will do the best we can. Okay. That said, what I'm going to do is figure out who wins this mouse pad. And you think you've won, and then you haven't. But Soren. Now, we're not going to disqualify you for a mouse pad, Soren. And we got your address. We know where you live over there in Denmark. You need a mouse pad as well. And the only way you can get one of these is to get here on the show and make a comment. So, hey, Sally, thank you for being with us. We wish you well.
Thank you.
Phil, thanks so much for being the agent of connection here for us. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Lee. Appreciate the opportunity. And in particular to have Sally on. I think it was great of you to have her on the show.
Oh, here was a question. Do you have a coach, Sally? Did you get that?
Not really. I just have friends who guide me on how to train.
Okay.
Not really. I just do research on online and inquire more information from friends who are top racers.
You know, that's something somebody, most of the people who watch the show watch the recorded version, and that's another aspect about the time shift stuff. But I'll bet if we would put the word out, we might find a coach out there, someone that'd be a volunteer coach for you. Let's see if we can shake somebody out of these trees and find somebody. Sally, great force and inspiration. Where can we follow you on social media? Well, that brings up something that I should have mentioned long ago, that you can do that. If you go to the OhioRAAMshow.com, there you will find in the show notes, right below the video with Sally, a link to Sally, her on Facebook, and also a link to Phil's company where he can provide kits, and which helps fund what Sally's trying to do here. And that's all there on OhioRAAMshow.com, Joe, or any of the rest of you. Hope you go there and buy a jersey and help put Sally on the road. I think that would be greatly appreciated. Okay. Let's spread the word of Ultracycling everywhere we go, folks. It's going to Africa now, and I hope this is just the beginning of great things in Africa. Oh, Jim, how I miss you when you're not here. And I can't find Gregory anywhere. He's here, I know, somewhere. So we can say goodbye. Well, while I'm doing that, let's say goodbye to our Sally and Phil. Let's say goodbye to everyone who was watching. I'm hunting for my I thought I had everything lined up perfectly, and here it is. I found Gregory at last. Here he is. Hey, Sally, Phil, stay around for just a little bit after the show. We'll chat.
This is Gregory Zuber, thanking you for watching and sharing.
Music by Kevin MacLeod.